Alright, so let's get right into the charts. I'm going to give you guys the market recap of the trades that we took this morning with gold. It was an amazing day. So we ended up taking two trades this morning. We have the first setup here that did played out for 80 pips at a 101.6 risk to reward. And then we got a second re-entry. That was the re-entry model of this one over here, which currently is running over 120 pips. Well, we already secured over 120 pips at a 1 to 2.4 risk to reward. At this moment right now, price is currently sitting at around 100 pips, which is a 1 to 2. We have our final take profit, which is going to be set currently at the weekly highs, which is going to be somewhere between these zones over here. Weekly highs originally is going to be around the 33.93 or 94ish. Our take profit is going to be at 33 and 93. So I'm going to give you guys the analysis, the breakdown, but let's go over here inside the Telegram first to go over the analysis that I sent out this morning. So the analysis, I sent this out at 8:30 in the morning, right? And the first signal was called out at 8 in the morning, which was this trade over here. So if we take a look at it from the screenshot perspective, right, you guys can clearly see the zones that I have marked up and the little notes that I have here, which is, hey, previous day candle broke and closed above these areas. And then we have this current market structure, which is retesting these broken areas, right? This is the before chart. As you guys can see, this is exactly the zone that we were taking the buy position from this morning. So our entry was this candle right here. We go back into chart. This is the before. And then this over here is the after. So beautiful, played out exactly how we anticipated. Over here, this is obviously the little analysis that I sent out. So I'm like, hey, price broke above this entire structure. This market is retesting it. If price action respect this level and this level, we can look for buys. If it breaks underneath these levels here, then we're looking for sells, right? But this was the overall analysis that I sent out this morning. Now let's break this down in the actual chart and explain to you guys exactly how I marked it up and how exactly did I look for these levels. So as of right now with this trade, if we go here inside trading view or MetaTrader, right now with this position, I'm currently up $674. So this is the current position that I have open at $670. And then if we look at the close position from the first two setups, we're currently sitting at $2,500. Check this out. Beautiful. And then you guys can see that obviously this is a live account. Take a look. And then we also have the profit for the day, which is pretty dope. So this is one of the big account. And then if we go into one of my smallest account, we go over here at Trade Locker. I have my current position sitting at $480. But let me check this one out because I have another trade open with US30, which is so close to hit, but does not want to hit my TP. So I think I might manually just close this position here. This is a trade that I took yesterday inside the indice room. Take a look here. Well, in trading view, it looks like it did hit the final TP. Here in Trade Locker, I'm not hitting that final TP. But in Trade Locker, I'm sitting at the total P&L at $1,200. So we're going to continue holding this position. We're going to go back here into gold and we're going to start off with these analysis. So very simple. This trade here was very simple. And honestly, if I see the setup over and over again, I will take this again over and over again. So I'm going to explain to you guys exactly everything that I looked for from a higher time frame perspective, and then obviously breaking it down towards a lower time frame perspective. So we're going to do an overall review. Today is Wednesday. It is the middle of the week. In the middle of the week, we have to see exactly where price action is, potentially going to be heading for the next 2 days, right? We're tapping into a specific zone, if price action respecting a specific zone, etc., right? So let's start off from the daily time frame, and we're going to start off from the bottom over here, which was last week, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Look at the Wednesday from today and look at the Wednesday from last week. Last week, Wednesday, after an entire bearish drop towards the downside, right? I just want you guys to pay attention from the pattern. Because again, trading always repeats itself. So obviously, if you guys look from the left side, you guys have an idea what can potentially happen on the right side, right? So we take a look here at the left side and we pretty much just go detail to details. We can see that price action from this point over here was the highest entire push towards the upside. And then it had a retracement. If we notice the retracement, where exactly the price action had a retracement from, it came back and retested this entire daily time frame demand zone. This is the entire demand zone that obviously in the past price action, we have seen that price action had a type of bullish reaction from it. So we have the first bullish reaction from here, the second bullish reaction from here, third bullish reaction from here, and now we're having the fourth bullish reaction, right? Now this was from Wednesday. We had the impulse towards the upside. We got the pullback, retested any type of minor structures from this zone over here. And then notice on Friday, we had the Powell speaks. What did Powell speak do? Obviously, we had a very nice broken structure. We had a very nice broken structure towards the upside, and then we have the yesterday candlestick and the previous 2 days candlestick. So this is Monday candle, this is Tuesday candle. Monday candle, we were basically trading in the middle from this exact supply zone, from this exact demand zone. We were pretty much bouncing off from a level, which we broke that down from the previous video. And then we have yesterday candle, which obviously had a deeper pullback to retest this entire broken structure. So if the way that I want to explain it to you guys is just notice the entire pattern. We have the break, low, lower high, low, and then we have a high, higher low, and then we have a new higher high. Simple, right? So now in today's market, or if we look at it from yesterday market or daily candle, we did see that obviously yesterday daily candle had a very nice broken structure. Where is the broken structure? It's going to be off this entire level over here, which is going to be set at the 33.75. And then notice how it perfectly aligns with yesterday previous day's highs, right? So if we take a look from Monday, this was Friday previous day's highs, and then this is Monday previous day's highs. We have Tuesday candle, which broke above it, and then we have Wednesday candle that just comes back and retested these zones. So looking at it from this pattern from here, you guys can kind of see that it's a very similar pattern formation, just high and a higher low. And then we look at it in today's market, we do have pretty much a similar thing. We have a new higher high, and now we have a higher low. Very simple. So obviously on the daily time frame, we're in a bullish market now. The market has completely shifted structure right after breaking all of this entire levels. So again, this was the beginning from it. We have the tap towards these major demand, we have the push, we have the correction, and then price action starts having the shift of structure. So if we go down into a 4-hour time frame perspective, the 4-hour as well is very much bullish. So this entire week we've been kind of bullish already. Well, a very good bullish market with gold, right? We have respected this Monday lows over here, which this was the first higher low, the next higher high, the next higher low, retest any type of structure, and we just continue bouncing up from levels to levels. Now, if we mark it up from today's session, again, we're going back to the previous day's highs, which is going to be the major resistance zones, right? Which is going to be at the 33.74. Notice that yesterday market structure, we had the break, the retested of this zone, right? Yesterday we took some sells from these areas and we explained why, obviously going from the other zones over there, which obviously you guys can go get back to those videos and just go do the research from there, explaining why did I end up taking these sells. But remember how I told you guys as well, the sells will only be valid, like even stronger, like we may see a very stronger deep push if we start breaking underneath these exact lows. But these are the lows which price action started respecting, right? This is the lows that price action started forming during the previous Asian session, which was on Monday, right? Price action started bouncing from it. We have the first bounce, then we have the London lows over here, which respected it. We have the New York session lows over here, which respected it. And we were just bouncing from point A to point B, right? Now, obviously, if price action would have broken underneath the structure, then none of this entire thing that just happened today would have not happened, right? So notice how price action afterwards, we respected these lower time frame support zones over here. It started having another break towards the upside. So we go back to this in the intraday time frame perspective, right? We understand that now that price action is trading above daily highs, which is also known as an area of resistance, and then this was over here the last previous highs. What is this now considered? This over here is now going to be considered as the new higher highs. And now we understand that overall market structure is in a bullish market. We have the previous higher low, which was over here. And then we also had a previous high, which is going to be set between here, which these are equal highs, right? You guys can clearly see this. And then we also go down towards the left side. You guys can also see that this was previous highs or previous lower highs, because we were trading underneath all of this entire structure. And this is exactly where price action made the correction from a bearish market to now heading towards a bullish market, right? So again, heading it towards the downside, tap towards a major demand zone, have the push, had to retest it, again respected it, broke back above, retested it, maintained itself above these daily higher lows. Now in today's market, we broke above it and we came back to retest the same exact zones. Now dropping it towards a lower time frame, this is exactly what we caught this morning. Lower time frame was very simple. All we marked up was, again, these levels over here, the 33.74. We're trading above a previous day's highs. With this, see that price action maintained itself above from yesterday market structure. Price action is coming back towards it to retest it. Daily close above areas of interest. This current structures over here is just coming back to retest it. We are respecting these entire lows, right? What are these lows over here? This is the first higher lows. Now this is the third higher low, or the second higher low, we can say. So this is the first higher low, the second higher low, and then we have the third higher low. We're seeing that price action is respecting the major zones from the higher time frame. We're respecting this entire trend line. We're respecting the market structure trend. Perfect. Now, If we're gonna go drop this down towards the lower time frame to show you guys exactly what was my entry, so we're gonna go back into the 5-minute time frame. We simply saw that in the early Asian session we formed this new low, we had the push. Early New York London session, we first came back here to retest these exact zones. This is the London session lows. So this over here is going to be considered as the London session lows, respected the Asian session lows. These are considered as equal lows. We have the first push towards this upside. Comes back to retest it one more time during the pre-New York session and the New York session. We came back to retest it. What do we have now? We now have a triple bottom, right? So we have the first tap over here, we have the second tap, and then we have the third tap. So obviously we're seeing that every time the price action comes back towards these zones, the main idea that we have here is that obviously buyers are holding this level very nice. On top of that, every single time frame every single trend from a higher time frame is bullish. We're respecting this level. We have broken above previous day's highs. Price action is coming back, retesting and forming a new previous day's lows. So this is going to be considered as today's lows. Yesterday was considered as yesterday highs. Today's considered as today's lows. Very simple, right? So now, from this point over here, we started obviously waiting for price action to give us the entry confirmation. We're not just going to buy off just the logic part, right? We're not just going to buy, hey, just because price is coming towards the support, it means that we're going to buy the markets. No. So what we're going to wait for, notice over here, once we had the first bullish tap over here during the New York session open, we had a nice bullish engulfing candle, leaving a fair value gap right over here, a bullish fair value gap. Notice how price action broke above it. My bad. Notice how price action broke above it. We got the pullback, and then we started forming this exact candle formation right over here. This candle over here was the indication showing us, hey, price action is ready to start buying the markets, right? Again, if we drop this a little bit lower towards a 1 minute time frame, we can also expect that, or we can just go over here. Let's go back into a 1 minute time frame. We have the first lows. Again, these are considered as equal lows. Price action is currently respecting it. We have the break of the structure. So notice the structure. We were heading towards the downside. We have the lows, a lower highs, a low, a high, a low, a high, a low. Now we have a new high, breaking out of this entire previous highs, coming back, retesting this other broken structure highs, respecting these lows, which is now considered as a minor higher low. So all we simply waited for, we go back here into a 5 minute time frame. What do we have? We have literally a perfect entry candle signal. So we have respected, we have the 1 minute time frame break of structure, we have the retest of the broken structure, and then we have the 5 minute forming a morning star. So this over here is considered as the morning star. This is exactly where we enter the markets, and then we target back towards these highs. Our final take profit was going to be set at 33.93, but this is the high that price session did disrespect during the London session. So this over here are the London session highs, which is leaving areas of supply zones. Price session came back towards this level after a very nice bounce towards the upside. We were disrespected. We started having another push towards the downside. But once again, what do we notice? Price session is now coming back towards this exact demand zone, the demand zone or the support zone that we end up taking the buy position from this morning. So very simple. We're drawing the trend line. Remember this. We're going from a 15-minute time frame perspective. We are overall seeing that this low over here is being respected. So let's just remove this trend line so you guys can see a little bit better. And now we're going to go back into the 5 minutes. So what do we have here? We're coming back to retest the same exact fair value gap from the New York session open. So we have the first retest over here. We have the push. Price action comes back. We're retesting it one more time. What are we noticing over here? We are noticing that on the 15-minute time frame, price action is coming back. We're sweeping off the New York session highs. Oh, my bad. The New York session lows. We're going back into a 5-minute time frame. We're noticing that these lows over here are being respected. Going down towards a 1 minute time frame, what are we marking up here? On the 1 minute time frame, we're just marking up the previous structure, which is the previous lower high. So again, we have a high, we have a low, a lower high, a lower low, and then we also have a new lower high, which price action comes back, respected it. We have a divergence. We're noticing that obviously higher lows are being respected from a lower time frame perspective. So going back to the 5-minute time frame, we're all simply going to mark up is just the next fair value gap. So the next fair value gap that I had here was this entire bearish gap right from this point over here. Price action comes back, retested this entire structure. All we simply waited for was for price action to maintain itself above these exact levels. Once that price action maintained itself above that level, all we simply waited for was for the retested and to close above that structure. And if we go back here into trading view or into Telegram, let's go back into the VIP zone. So this is where I send out in the VIP. Let's go back a little bit higher. We'll look to re-enter if price can close above the 33.78, which is this mark. So we go back into the 5 minute time frame, we have the 33.78. So we literally waited everything that we wanted. We respected all of these entire lows, right? We went over this. Going back into the Telegram, this was sent out at 9:54. I told everyone, hey, I'm only gonna wait to enter the market. We close above this 33.78 zone, right? So that's exactly what price action did. We retested the zone. We broke above it. We retested. We closed above it. Perfect entry. Our entry candlestick was this in 5 minute bullish engulfing candle. We go back into the 15 minute time frame. We have noticed that price action has swept out these lows twice. So we're noticing very nice structure that buyers are continue holding the zones. And then that's exactly where we enter the market. And as you guys can see, the market did played out perfectly. And then right now with this setup over here, again, we're like running around 100 plus pips, sitting at a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Hopefully to see our final take profit get smacked today. So we're final TP is a few pips away from it. So we're like at least a minimum 40 pips away from hitting that final TP. So let's see if price action can now hold above these entire London highs. We may see the price action drop a little bit, retest this entire structure, probably form a new higher low. But if we start seeing the price action start having that pullback and respecting these previous highs over here, then most likely we may be able to see the price action hitting our final take profit for today, or hopefully just price just spikes up from this point here. So that's pretty much it, guys, for this analysis and this breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys have any questions, obviously you guys feel free to text me whenever you guys want.